Hi guys, Maikeru here. This is my video on how I prepared for Necromancy over the last 2 days since the reveal. As soon as the reveal happened, I went to the GE and I bought a bunch of items that they said are going to be used with this skill. They listed all of the items in the news post, and I'll leave a link to the news post in the description on what items you're going to need to train the skill. Using this list, I just pretty much bought all of the stuff from there, and that is now gone into my Necromancy tab. I also made a bunch of perks, which I'll touch on when I actually speak about my tab. Obviously, it's going to be a combat skill. It's going to be augmentable. You want decent perks, especially if you're racing. And I went and got some Ushabtis from monsters, which is very, very important in my opinion. The reason why I say Ushabtis are very important is pretty much just because imagine every Slayer update, but 10 times that many people fighting over a monster. That's going to be the low-level monsters in particular for Necromancy release. Low-level monsters like the trolls in Burthup, these chickens, cows, whatever it is, those are going to be highly packed areas, and there's going to be a lot of people trying to kill them. If you grab their souls and you put it in your dungeon, then you don't have to compete with others. So that's going to help if you're racing, that's for sure. So moving on to my Necromancy tab that I have made, it is right here. Obviously, I'm going to speak about specific items as we go through this tab to give you more info on them. First of all, we have the invention perks. I personally have gone with Aftershock for Precise 2 and Equilibrium for Ruthless 3, as that's typically the Slayer perks that you would go for. You'd slap this on a Scythe or something when doing Slayer for AoE purposes and extra damage. I think this will be the case for Necro. You want to kill as many monsters as quickly as possible. I have Biting 4 with Undead Slayer. You could pair Biting 4 with Dragon Slayer, Demon Slayer, depending on what you plan to kill. They're all going to be good. Just pair it with something. I have Invigorating 4, which I think is going to be an amazing perk because auto attacks are important for Necromancy, and this buffs them. I've got Devoted 4, Impatient 4. Again, extra Adren is going to be great, and Devoted is good if I am Protection Prayering. And lastly, I have Relentless and Crackling combo. Just a very, very solid perk there. So I've pretty much just got like best in slot perks. I'm going to put it on my gear. And then when I'm racing, I'm probably going to have to either equipment dissolve or separate on my gear. Obviously, if I do dissolve my gear, I'm going to have to get a new set, so I don't know how much of a detriment that would be, so it could be beneficial to make some budget perks. I do have a gizmo bag in my bank that has a bunch of budget perks inside it. For the tier 70 and 80 gear kind of thing, you may want some budget ones. I got some cannonballs. I don't know how many I'm actually going to use. I'm probably going to buy like 100k. I don't think I'm going to be using a cannon very much, especially if I'm in my dungeon. But just in case I need to compete against some people in certain areas, cannons are going to be used. So I might as well use it myself. I've got some augmenters. Again, everything's augmentable. Worth having. I've got some Scrimshaw of Sacrifices, which I'm unsure about. I don't know whether they're going to work. They did say certain things will work, like Wise perk, but they didn't go into details about which ones and which XP boost will actually be affected, and which ones will be part of the embargo that aren't allowed, other than obviously the MTX and lamps and whatever that are obvious. So later on down the road, they're going to give us exact what works and what doesn't. Until then, I'm just going to keep these in the bank just in case they are revealed to work. I have a bunch of bones. I only have like 1,000 of every bone because honestly, you don't need that many in the skill. So I only have a little bit of them. I don't think I'm going to need more than this. I may buy an extra 500 or something, but I'm happy with this, honestly. So if you're sitting with like 100,000 bones of one type, I'd probably sell some of them. That is way too many. I got some of the thread that was in the news post, and then obviously all the armors that were in the news post. I'm expecting them to be used to upgrade your Necromancy armor. May buy a couple more sets of subjugation, but other than that, I'm pretty chill there. I got a Draconic Visage, but I didn't buy a Spectral Shield. I'm guessing these shields are just ones that are used within Necromancy, like if you want to use a shield. And because I'm racing, I'm not going to be using a shield, so I can probably ignore that anyway. But yeah, I might buy a Spectral nearer the time, or farm one from Corp or something. I got some Pure Essence, just in case I need to make any Impure Essence, but I do plan on buying all of the runes, because I'll be racing and I don't really have time to make them myself. I got some Chronotes. So, Chronotes go into what I'm going to be doing for my Relic setup. For my Relic setup, personally, I'm going to be using Berserker's Fury because, obviously, that is really, really strong. especially if I'm using my life to keep alive my minions. My HP is never really going to be full, which means I'm always going to get a buff from Berserker's Fury. Fury of the Small is just a great perk. I'm going to get extra, adrenaline from that. If Inspired Ore works with Necromancy, then I'll probably go ahead and do Inspired Ore, because it's the only good one with like 250 relic power left. I don't know what I'd do instead of it if it doesn't work, but I'm sure there'll be another one like Persistent Rage or the Luck Ring Relic or something. You could put something else in there, but hopefully the 2% does work, because it did work with Archaeology. Going back to the tab, we do have Cinderbanes. Cinderbanes are going to work. They will be your best in stock gloves. They are hybrid, so they're going to give you a Necromancy bonus. Anything that's hybrid at the moment will get a Necromancy bonus on release. And the poison damage is just really, really good. Same applies with a Ring of Death. That will probably be the hardest impacted ring. I'm not 100% sure. Reaver's Ring might be better for when you get over-leveled, but until then, accuracy is very important for Necromancy. Speaking of accuracy, any undead that I might kill, Salve Amulet, that will give me accuracy and damage. Then we have Essence of Finalities, which give me accuracy and damage and Soul Split buff, all of that jazz. Very, very good. One of my Essence of Finality has Statius Warhammer. Again, lowering the defense of the target and accuracy being high is going to be such a big benefit to Necromancy. I think going to somewhere like maybe Arc Glacier and hammering it, you're going to deal way more damage, because accuracy in Necromancy works like those greater demons in ED4. The higher your accuracy, the more damage you deal to them. I'm guessing up to 100% accuracy. So if you have 90% accuracy, you're going to be dealing 90% damage. But if you hammer the target, you're going to go deal 100% damage. My other Essence of Finality is just empty. There are special attacks confirmed from yesterday's live stream come into the game with Necromancy. So I'm keeping it empty, and maybe there'll be a good special attack to slap in there alongside maybe buying a tier 95 from the first Necromancer if it's not too expensive or something, and then I'll be very, very happy. Just some dust to repair the Essence of Finalities, and some charges to upkeep everything, some Penance Powder. Penance Powder is always really, really good. Then we've got some Familiars. I don't know which Familiars are going to be good, so I've just stocked up on a couple. I've gone with Calgarian Demons and Reavers. No idea what will be good. I have Qualm Incense Sticks for extra good old poison damage. I have Lantadime Sticks for extra duration of my potions, which could be useful. And I also have Torstal Incense Sticks if they allow them. That's 2% more XP if allowed. We don't know yet. I also got some XP capacitors, because if I am going to be leveling up my gear and then ditching it when I get 10 levels and I get a new set, then maybe it'll be useful to use these so I could level it up to 15 and separate it. Could be beneficial. I have no idea. Then it comes to Ushubtis. The Ushubtis that I currently have are chickens, because I think they'll be good for level 1 training. I have some Spiritual Warriors, because I think they'll be good at the mid-level. And I have some Banshees, because I think they'll be good just after the chickens. I am going to get more monsters inside the Ushubtis, and you can see them on screen now. These are the ideas for monsters that I think could be useful from what I've researched so far. There could be more than these monsters specifically, but they're just ones that I think will be pretty decent. Abyssal Lord would be like an endgame one. You have Tormented Demon that would be good if it doesn't protect against Necromancy, although they did add the Protect from Necromancy spell to the game, so when you hit him with Necromancy damage, he might just pray against it. Whites are pretty good XP for how easy they are to kill, but I don't think they can be put in a Personal Slayer dungeon. Same with Rock Crabs, but they could be good alternatives. Dark Beast is a classic one. Skeletal Wyverns are actually not that bad, and they are susceptible to the Salve Amulet, which makes them decent. Pyrothenes are pretty good for their level, low-level monster. Greater Demon Berserker, depending on how the accuracy works with Necromancy, they could be good, or they could just be absolutely garbage. It would be something that would need to be tested. Same applies with Capsarius, because they only really take damage from range attacks, but Necromancy may deal a bit more than the other styles. We don't know yet, so we'll see how that goes there. They would be good if they take decent amount of damage from Necro. Era is an OG monster that was trained with like Invention and stuff, and he does give a lot of XP, especially if you AoE him down, so they could be decent. And finally, the Arc Glacier himself, which I mentioned with the good old Statius Warhammer, could be really, really good to kill. He does give quite a lot of XP. Just depends on how your accuracy fares against him and how much damage you actually deal. Then I have a Rune Pouch. They did say on the stream that they won't be using the existing Rune Pouch with the runes just going straight into it, but they did upgrade the Rune Pouch with Croesus to make it better, right? So maybe they're using this Rune Pouch, and then you would do an add-on to it, and it would become a necromantic rune pouch or something. So maybe this could be used. I have one just in case. Then I have a bunch of books. I don't know which book is going to be the best one. So depending on which book is the best, I'll just use that one. But it's nice to have multiple. Like the full book, the Wen book, and the Grimoire are all going to be good in their own ways. They also confirmed on the live stream yesterday that Appraisal Codex is used. So Tier 99 Prayer, lovely. A Slayer Codex is just so I can teleport to my Sunken Pyramids alongside like the Ghostly Essence and the Ectoplasmator. That's more so that I can get Infinite Prayer if I need it against certain monsters. The Viswax is for daily challenges so I can extend them. The Igneous Stone is so I can make a Kiln Cape into a Zuck Cape. They said Zuck Capes are coming with the skill, and they said you're going to have to get a Kiln Cape, and I'm guessing you just add this stone to it to make it a Zuck Cape, so just get a stone in advance and you'll be good to go. I have an Enhanced Excalibur with Wise 4. Wise has been confirmed to work with it, right? Like I said earlier. So when I'm doing rituals, I'm going to have this Enhanced Excalibur on, and then I'm going to be able to get up to 50k XP a day. I also have a couple of backup Wise perks just in case I need them on a different piece of gear. I have my excess shards and coins. I think I still have like nearly 20 bill or something. And that's even after all of this, and with some money in other stuff like a loot tab and whatever. And that will cover all the runes on release and those reagents they were talking about, and, you know, stuff like a tier 95 maybe. I could buy that on release if I have enough money. And I should be more than enough there. The only thing that could be very costly is the tier 95, but I probably won't buy the first one in the game. I have some keys to the Crossing, as Magister could be a good shout. I don't know how good Magister will be to kill, but he might be decent at the high levels, so I've got some keys just in case. And then I have 100 of every single bar they have on the news post. They're probably used in gearing or something like these, you know, magic armors. And that's about it. Other than I am finally making a Blessed Flask. So I just need to keep doing my daily sandstone and crystal flex sandstone and everything and try and get my Blessed Flask. It's going to take a little while to make, but I think it might be worth it for this skill in particular to minimize my bank trips. Because if I have a flask in my inventory instead of, like, you know, 5 restores, that could maximize the amount that I actually do per trip. But yeah, that's about it, other than obviously stocking up on the ones that are essentials, such as the Elder Overload salves. I have 1.5k of those now. I have 1000 aggression flasks. I have 700 adrenaline renewal flasks, and a bunch of enhanced replenishment potions if I want instant adrenaline. 20k Vuln bombs right here as well. And loads and loads of food. I don't really see myself needing anything else other than all of this, and we should be good going into this skill. Do let me know in the comments down below if you have any ideas of any monsters that I didn't speak about, or any items that I've missed. But yeah, I think I'm pretty prepared for Necromancy. When more info comes out, there might be more items that I need to buy, or more stuff I need to stock up on, alongside just getting a couple more of these souls in general for the higher levels. I will just work on those passively AFK over the coming, you know, month or two or whatever. And yeah, it should be Gucci. Should be good to go. Hopefully this was helpful to you. Give it a like if it was helpful. I will be racing for top 25. Obviously, I could have kept all of my plans and stuff a secret, but I think that's boring. And I want to help people. So this is pretty much everything that I've done so far in preparation. Like I said, there might be more in the future once we know more, but I just wanted to share my thoughts and opinions. Even if it's other people that are racing that might get an edge by knowing these things, I'm here to have fun. I'll be streaming every single part of my race, and I'm just looking to enjoy myself just like with archaeology. Top 25 is the goal. If I can do better than that, great. I'll do my best. I'll put in as much time as possible and try and get a good showing. Do give the video a like if you did enjoy it. It does help me out greatly. And if you are new, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and, you know, put that bell notification on maybe so you can be notified for more Necromancy content. And if you made it this far into the video, as always, you're a legend and I appreciate you. Have a lovely day, morning, evening, whatever. And until next time, see ya.